Okay, we are getting to the AOC town hall story tonight. So I don't know if all of you know about this, but yes, AOC did have another town hall. And Jose, who you guys are familiar with, he's intervened at a lot of these town halls, not just AOC's, but other warmonger town halls. But Jose and Lucy is from Indie News Network. They have been banned. They got there, they had registered ahead of time to attend the town hall, only to get there and to find out that they were banned from the event. Guess because they were asking questions that AOC did not like. She doesn't actually want to talk to people who agree with her. She only wants to talk to people that agree with her. She does not want to talk to people who disagree with her. So much to the point where she will ban them from attending her town hall. This is where we're at now. But it didn't seem to matter because even though Jose and Lucy were not there to call out AOC on her ridiculousness, other people in the audience that are her constituents did not seem to be feeling AOC. And they had some things to say similar to what Jose and Lucy have been complaining about as well. What was important about this is the fact that it shows you that other people in her district are seeing her for what she really is. Now, shout out to Case Study QB for this clip. He starts off with the Freedom Caucus about the debt deal and then jumps into AOC constituents upset about her voting for war funding. Let's get into this.
Watch that and watch Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez heckled at her town hall in Queens, New York about government debt spending. Watch this.
It has historic reductions in spending, consequential reforms that will lift people out of poverty into the workforce, rein in government overreach. There are no new taxes, no new government programs. All the Democrats are very upset. But one thing Hakeem told me, there's nothing in the bill for them. There's not one thing in the bill for Democrats.
The American people now, the government is...
Oh, I can skip past him. I'm sorry. Oh, I probably shouldn't have done that with the Twitter video. Oh, no. I'm sorry, guys. Let me come out. I do hate this about Twitter videos because they just spin. It's really annoying. Let me do this again. Whee! All right, let's see if I can just...
30% bigger than it was pre-COVID. Let's go back to pre-COVID levels of spending. That's what we asked for. We're not. This deal doesn't do that.
We should eliminate the debt limit in the United States.
You played that. You voted for. If you would like to call the Congressman's office, if you would like to meet the Congressman.
Speaker McCarthy should pull
this part right here where she said, my community needs that money. Look at this. This is her town hall. $100 billion for Ukraine that you voted for.
You voted for.
There are a lot of communities that need help and need that money. You see, more people are starting to see it now. More people are starting to see it. Let me make sure I go. They're talking about the debt ceiling there. So let me come out of that. I do have those other videos. I want to show you this as well. So again, this was Jose telling people last night at AOC's town hall. Rachel George, a good friend of mine, asked AOC, why not use the influence of the squad to tell people not to vote for Biden unless he ends this war in Ukraine? Maybe Jamal Bowman should consider that. And that's actually a really good point. But what was interesting to me is that even though they banned Jose and Lucy, you didn't need Jose and Lucy there to get those same points across because other people are still upset with her about it. That's the thing. What is AOC going to do? Ban everyone? She going to block everyone from attending her town halls that disagree with her, that bring up the war in Ukraine? She never answers that question, by the way. They won't even talk about it. They just, the squad, we were just talking about this. They just hosted an event that they charge money to people for people to attend, just to tell people the same shit that they've been saying all along. And to also tell people they have to drag Joe Biden across the finish line. Nothing about this war. They're still not answering the questions. And I believe some of these people are controlled opposition. Let me make something very clear to you. Some of the same people who are anti-war activists that are willing to call out Joe Biden and hold up these signs and protest in front of Anthony Blinken and all of these other people, all of a sudden when the squad has this event, they say that they're hanging with the squad, not protesting the squad about this war. Now, I'm not going to say any names on here, but if you were on Twitter, you know who I'm talking about. But some of these organizations that say they're so anti-war, all of a sudden, when it comes to the squad, and I've seen this happen before, they are nice to them. All of a sudden, all the end the war and stop the war in Ukraine and stop the military industrial complex, all those posters like they like to hold up all the damn time. All of a sudden, when the squad is present, they ain't got no damn posters. They're not saying stop the war in Ukraine. They're not interrupting them when they're speaking. And they're quoting on Twitter, telling people that they're hanging out with the squad. Some of these people are controlled opposition. And I've been saying this shit for a while. You tell me, how is it that some of these organizations are able to get into the halls of Congress all the damn time to protest and interrupt speeches, and other activist groups can't even walk in the front door? Make it make sense. I'm calling all of it out. Some of y'all mofos are controlled. I know it. I know it. So listen to what this woman says about the war in Ukraine at AOC's town hall.
I have a question right now. Why don't you and the squad have the ability to tell their supporters not to vote for Biden unless he concedes on ending this war? Why won't you do it? That's a lot of money you are sending to Ukraine. And you're talking about you're bringing money to your community? What about the war?
Academy, especially we're in the South.
She don't even want to answer the question. She's draining. She is contributing.
So there's AOC back there. Oh, by the way, they were handing out those military recruitment flyers at this town hall again, too, by the way. And her name was on the flyer. Yep.
Into America's debt. You are contributing to America. You got a lot of blood on your hands, and you're going to have to answer to God one day. You're going to have to answer to God one day. Just believe that, girl. You keep clapping and smiling. You're going to have to answer to God. Stop funding the Ukraine war, sweetheart. Say you for the people. You are damn lie. You are damn lie. You are not the truth. You are being brainwashed. I need y'all to wake the hell up. If COVID-19 did not wake you up, then you are asleep. Why you letting this lady rock yourself to sleep? Stop funding this war.
The point that she made, one of the points that she made in that video that I thought was so important. Why not use the influence of the squad to tell people not to vote for Joe Biden unless he helps end the war in Ukraine? I don't think that's an unreasonable ask. That's a good point. Why not do that? You know the sad part about this video? There's other ones I'm going to show you as well. But watch this. I just want to go to, put it on mute. I just want to go, I want you to take a look at the crowd. Let me jump back for a second. Let's take a look at the crowd. The young girl in the front. Hold on. Let me see if it'll go there. Right here. the girl right here who turns around and looks back, and then the black girl right here. What bothered me is that they looking back at her like what's wrong with her, when in reality, they should be giving AOC that look. Because what she's saying is correct. And see, AOC, and I said this before, AOC, this was just a pawn. You see, she checked off all the boxes in reference to keeping people in the Democratic Party, recruiting people for the military industrial complex through these military academies, and part of her district, the Bronx. You see, she checked off all the boxes. Let's get this Latina woman. Oh, but she needs to be very smart. Yeah, it needs to be a woman. It needs to be a person of color, but they also need to be really intelligent. Let's go with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Let's push her through Justice Democrats. Because see, she can still go back to the hood in the Bronx and she can still say, I'm one of you, even though she's not. She can still pretend like she is. From day one, I was just a bartender. This was all a joke, set up from the very beginning. It was on purpose that she was given more attention than the other candidates that ran in Justice Democrats. They heavily promoted AOC more because, like I said, she checked off all the boxes. So that's what people have to understand. Now, there's another video as well. Let me go ahead and share this one from her town hall where more people bringing up the war. Here we go.
So, sorry, sir, we're taking lines. Sir, we're taking lines. Sir, we're having people write their names on the piece of paper.
American citizens before migrants.
Okay, so he has the issue with the migrant issue. Now, he has on a Cuba shirt. What you have to understand is there is escalating tensions that are happening in cities like New York and Chicago in the country right now, where other people who were born and raised in this country are starting to feel some kind of way because they feel like their cities are offering a lot of money or packages to migrants that have immigrated into the United States and just like crossed the border, and their communities are still broke and poor, and their elected officials, their local elected officials, have not helped them out at all. So there's escalating tension there. And me didn't want to have that conversation. I want to do it as a panel, so we can hear both sides. But that's what he's upset about, and then we'll get to the other individual.
Don't you touch me. Don't touch me. Get your hands off. Where are you on the migrant issue? You're absent. American citizen. You're throwing veterans out of this country. Where are you? You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit.
Who is that guy? By the way, that guy comes back. The boo guy, he comes back. I think he's also controlled opposition. Hold on.
This country. Where are you? You're a piece of shit.
You know what's sad about this? I understand where he's coming from, that I guess she's not being vocal about this issue, yada, yada. He's part of her district. I get it. She's not around. I get that too. But you know what's really sad about this particular issue with the migrant situation? It's the fact that at the end of the day, we've been taught now, since the economy is really getting to people's wallets are being, pinched, and we're going into summer. It's starting to get hot. People about to lose their shit. Let's just keep it real. And you have inflation. Instead of people blaming the billionaires, blaming the oligarchs, blaming the people at the top, blaming these banks. People are starting to blame each other. People are starting to blame everybody. Got to have a scapegoat now. This is what happens when capitalism starts to squeeze onto you tighter and tighter. So now you have people like, they're blaming the migrants, or they're blaming their neighbor, or it's a black person's fault, it's a white person's fault. They're blaming the LGBTQ community. Everybody has like this scapegoat instead of pointing their fingers at the number one issue, and that's the people at the very top. Let's get back to the guy who's booing. That guy right there, that guy is a trip. He's something else.
Okay.
What's funny about that? See how she's just laughing? Okay. But she doesn't address the issue that he was upset about.
The president has come out saying that he also believes that he has this authority. What he has also said is that he is not sure if he is able to implement the authority in time for the June 5th deadline. And so that is where we see kind of this impasse. I still believe, first of all, that we should start to implement it anyway, because we should eliminate the debt limit in the United States because of the constitutional.
Yeah, but I think it's gotten to the point now. I'm telling you, you guys think I'm joking. Like, summer heat is about to kick off soon. It's June now, so we're still okay. But when July comes around and it gets really hot, people start to lose their shit. Like, I'm just being honest with you. It's not just Chicago. Those of us up in these cities, the northern cities, people start to lose their shit once July hits. Every year this happens. So it's great that for you to get up there and say, I don't think we should have a debt limit, yada, yada. But at this point in time, people don't really want to hear what you think should not happen. It's getting to that point where people want you to make something either happen, or they want you to prevent something from happening. And if you mark my words, wait until July. If you think people are angry now, and if you've ever lived in New York City, especially during the summertime in July, people are going to lose their shit. People lose their shit here in Boston too. So people don't want to hear that anymore. People are timed out. People don't want to hear about what should be, or in an ideal world, it will be like this. Nobody wants to hear that. If you are their elected official, they want to know what you're doing, and they want you to do your damn job. And it is very clear to your constituents, particularly the ones who are working class and not the bougie peeps, like, just keeping it real, not the bougie PMCs, but particularly the ones that are working class. They can see clear as day that you're not doing your damn job. And you didn't just get there. You've been there for a while now. And some of them are seeing that you played people. Let's just keep it real. Here comes the other one.
You claim that you voted for.
And I will share something. I don't like that Republicans passed a 1.7 trillion tax cut on the wealthiest people in this country.
What does that have to do with you voting to send billions of dollars to Ukraine? This is something AOC does quite often. She'll pivot back to Republicans so that she doesn't have to actually speak to what she did.
That we continue to support our military budget. I don't like that we have enormous amounts of...
It is not your turn! I thought you wait!
Who is this? Who is this, guys? Is this a stand? Is this what stands do? Is this a stand? Like, it, who goes out this hard for someone they don't even know? Is he a plant? Was that guy planted there? Is that what this is supposed to be?
Freedom of speech.
I am a veteran. You idiot. You see what's happening? What I tell you when I say people starting to lose it, and it's just June. It's just June. People are calling each other idiots. See how they're mad at each other instead of being mad at the real problem and the real issue? It's going to be a hot Bronx summer.
That is exactly why we use paper slips.
You see the sign? America first, vetted and legal. What? I can't see. I think that's legal migrants only. Stop funding Ukraine. You see what's happening? Honey, stay inside this summer. His sign says, stop lying. Stop lying.
So next, we're going to go with Susan.
Okay, that piece, which I should be getting into that one. Let's hear her speech.
So next, we're going to go with Susan.
Nuclear war with Russia. We're sending F-16. If we send F-16s, America and Ukraine on the verge of nuclear war. Is that okay? Are you going to stop this war? Okay, are you going to stop this war? That's my question. Are we going to?
Yeah, we know about the paper.
Yeah, we know about the paper. Why are you afraid of your constituents?
Like, who is this? Like, what are you, man? Look what happened to this guy. Now he got Band-Aids on his knees. I think this is a wrap. Is that a wrap around his leg? Like an athletic wrap like you would use? I was a football trainer in high school. We used to wrap people's ankles. That looks like it looks like ankle tape. So he's got his leg wrapped. I don't know what happened to him before he got there. He has Band-Aids on his knee. And this guy, like, this is a plant man. Desert man, this is boo. This is a plant man. Come on. No way. No way. But she's mad about the war in Ukraine.
Because it has.
Love it. AOC and it is an obvious criminal. Love it. Love it. Keeping it real. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Didn't mean to do that. All right, let's go back.
Your constituents.
Why did he have to say it like that? Boo!
Activity because it has been creating a lot of harm to poor and indigenous people.
Okay, so those were a few, but there's another one I wanted to show you as well. Now, this is Roger Meadows. Shout out to Roger for keeping it real and doing the damn thing. He actually talked to people outside of the town hall. So it says interviews by Roger at AOC's town hall event, and Indie News Network was able to capture this. So listen to this.
You want to say your name? You can. You don't if you don't want to. But what you were just saying?
Oh, so basically today at this AOC town hall, all she was talking about heat pumps, air conditioners, and how to get a passport. She was not talking about the crime. 3 people got stabbed in Junction Boulevard on May 13th. She didn't talk about that.
Okay.
It's constant crime on the transit system.
Okay.
It's crazy.
What else were your concerns?
That's all the crime.
Okay.
The crime.
So she mainly said that AOC was talking about how to get a passport, like that type of stuff, not really addressing the issues.
And then the migrant situation, of course.
Mm-hmm.
When we have our homeless Americans on the street, but when they come in, they just put them in front of them, which I think, like, where was this money for the Americans that are homeless? Where was it? But now they have money for, the migrants.
You guys see people starting to see it.
You want to say anything?
Yeah, she's a liar. Okay?
What, she's a liar?
No. Absolutely not. This was not a liar. No, I'm upset because I've been working on a project but with the illegals, and I've been working very hard this past month with the footage that I have and what I've uncovered. In fact, I'm going to be on a show next week to expose it all with some very high-profile people, and I want to make one thing clear, and I always do. I am not against anybody. We are all God's children, but come here the right way. Do not come here illegally, because the word is out through their app. All over 140 countries. Go to New York, go to America. Everything is free. Now, a lot of them have come in with very fancy phones that have not been given by the government. The majority of them are getting phones, but there's a lot of them that have come in with highlights. They're certainly not underfed. Designer clothes, designer watches. Okay, I mean, really. Then you're complaining about the food. You're trashing the hotels. You don't like the food you're being served, which is great food. We have Americans and New Yorkers. Sir, when I see a New Yorker pick the garbage for food, I break down and cry. I will go to some places, gourmet places that are closing, and I ask them if I may take the food that they're going to throw out to people on the street. And I'll walk around, and you would think you gave them $1 million because $20 salads, beautiful sandwiches, soups. These are human beings, and this mayor's not looking out for the New York people.
The homeless situation is a big issue. You know, we've talked about how it is in Los Angeles. It's an issue in New York as well, but it's just continuing to increase. Obviously, this leads back to the poverty issue. And from what I've heard from people that live in New York City, Eric Adams is not handling this situation well. And so the point I think that these two women are making is that you have all these homeless people that, you know, cop Mayor Adams basically wanted to lock up. But when the migrants were dropped off, and they were dropped off in New York City, it was like, okay, let's find them shelter, housing, let's help them. And what they're saying is, why wasn't that same opportunity being presented to the homeless people in New York City? So it's just, I'm telling you, July is going to be hot summer.
And the military, as a daughter of a wonderful man who stormed the beach in Normandy at age 16, 6'2", my father, long before I was born. And every time he heard the national anthem when I was growing up, he'd stand up with his hand on his heart and his eyes would water, and I'd say, "Daddy, don't cry." And he said to me, "It takes a true man to cry." These are our veterans, our military that fought for me and you to be free. And that son of a gun in there wants to cut the budget for the military when it's already depleted. Sir, I'm telling you.
No, honey, it ain't depleted. I think Roger gets to this point, but it's definitely not depleted. I don't know where she heard that from. But the defense budget is over $860 billion. So it's definitely not depleted. If anything, it could be depleted, but I have to interject there.
It's not good. The Democrats want to keep people down. They want to throw them breadcrumbs. They don't do anything to help them get back up with their situation. Now, I do realize some are catastrophic, cost a lot of money, but we're spending billions of dollars on the illegals. Help those that you can. Bring them up.
So what I've seen is one of the reasons why we protest her is because she's funding the military. Now, here's the thing, and I want you to think about this. I want you to separate caring for those soldiers who come back, separate that from us financing the military-industrial complex, which is consistently putting us in these wars. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times we are financing these wars not for our benefit, but for Lockheed and Martin, but for, what's the other one? Raytheon, okay? To do nothing but put us in danger. They put us in danger, and then they don't want to take care of us when they come back. So this is the reason why military recruitment is down, because the high schoolers, they're looking at what happened to the millennials when they got lied into the Iraq war, and they're like, I don't want none of that.
There you go. Bingo. Ding, 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 ding. The last, I think, strong effort for military recruitment was my generation. Millennials. I think that was the last strongest effort for it. They haven't done well with Gen Z population. So, yeah.
I also realize, and I've talked to many, that Biden is in bed with the Ukrainian government, which you well know. I don't even need to get into that, okay? And the money has been laundered over there. We don't see.
We don't know where it's going.
We don't know where.
Well, it's funny. It's the Nazis. Ukrainian Nazis.
Yeah, because they wear
that thing. Yeah.
Now Putin's a bad guy, and we know that. But he lied about Putin. I forget which thing it was. It was major. And finally, it was Tucker Carlton who exposed it. Tucker Carlton exposed it. He said that the president of Ukraine lied, and they exposed it. One of many lies. I mean, look. Biden has destroyed our country in many ways, and you know that. And I got very angry sitting there listening to her lies when I know the real deal. And those poor people in there, a lot of them, I'm sure they're all wonderful people, but they're seeing, oh, our food stamps are going to get cut, this is not going to be cut. I don't want them to be cut for those that really need it. They deserve it. The illegals don't. But if you can work, you should want to work for self-worth, to be independent from the government that wants to keep you down. You know that.
I hear you.
I hope I didn't yell at you, because I didn't know.
No. I'm good. I agree with a lot. I disagree with some, but that's okay.
That's why we're Americans.
Exactly.
Right? We're not in a communist country yet.
All right, you have a good one. What was your name?
I'm Susan Miller. I'm an activist for many years.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. And you?
Roger. Meadows.
What's your last name?
Meadows.
Huh?
Meadows.
Well, it's very nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
So that was an interesting, conversation, an interesting discussion. I agree with her on some issues, and some of the other issues I was kind of like, I don't know about all that. But shout out to Roger for being on the ground and being able to get that footage. There's one more I have too. I have to go into my DMs to capture, so I'm sorry. But someone in the chat said she gave them reformed Karen vibes. You guys are so funny. I can't look at the chat right now. I can't. But it's important that we have these conversations with people and we don't just write people off. Now, what if Roger would have been like, oh, I don't want to talk to you because your opinion about like the migrants coming here, I don't want to talk to you about that. You know what I mean? Like, but no, like Roger still decided to have the conversation with her. And I think that's important. So I think we need to be open to having these discussions with people. Now, where's that video? Here we go. Yeah. All right. I found it. There's one more. This is a very quick one that he had outside as well. A younger woman, but she sees the writing on the wall too. She's starting to see AOC for what she really is. So let me go ahead and share this one. This one's really good as well.
I sat there and I listened to AOC talk a whole lot of nonsense about Republicans doing this, Republicans doing that. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't give a crap about the Republicans. What are you
Feel
doing?
free to curse if you want.
No, I don't curse.
Liar. Keep going.
I don't.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So, I don't know. AOC says she's doing stuff. She sounds like a 2-year-old talking about economics, and then her supporters are being brainwashed to sleep for some odd reason. All you got to do is pick up a book and read. Shout out to Thomas Sowell. He's a real one right there. That's all she got to do. And all she's doing is rocking these people to sleep.
I agree with you with everything except for the Thomas Sowell part.
You don't like Thomas Sowell?
Nah. But check
no,
this out.
he's a smart dude.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying he's not smart.
He's a very smart. I don't say you got to agree with everything.
Yeah.
But he's really
Oh,
smart.
you know what? All right. So, you want to give your name? If not, don't worry about it.
I have no social media anyway, so.
But people are waking up. People are starting to see it. Heard what she said. That's right. Deneen said, speak the truth. Exactly. She's always talking about the Republicans, this Republican, that. And that young woman said, no, what are you doing though? Everybody wants to point their fingers at someone else instead of looking at what they may be doing. And I think that's important. But I think more people are starting to wake up. Man, what a town hall, huh? Boo! Boo! How did he do it? How did he do it, guys? super sticker. Want to see more? Isaac says AOC is there to manufacture consent. There you go. Thank you for the super chat, Lorez. Great show, Sabrina. More and more. I'm of AOC. Thank you for that. Java the Cat says, thank you for doing this, Roger. Yeah, Roger, you kicked butt out there. Roger Meadows, man on the street.